We're going. We're going. I think we're going. Okay, hi. I'm back. I wasn't going to do another one of these until, like, this weekend, in part because I'm really sick right now. But I came home from work today, and I flip up my Tumblr, as I always do, because when I get home I just really want to, curl up in the bath and bask in the warmth that is fandom. And unfortunately, what I discovered on my Tumblr dash was that somebody whom I respect was arguing with someone who I don't presently have a lot of respect for, probably a wonderful human being, basically, yelling that Elementary wasn't canonical. And I was just like, really? I wanted to go home and go to sleep. But because I'm me and I get really angry really easily, well, okay, not angry in this case, just really irritated, I decided, okay, well, I guess it's time to do another one already. I'm not ready, but we're going to do it anyway. And also, because I'm doing this so early, I can consider this a happy birthday shout out to one of my dearest and closest friends, Uber Niftacular. If you're watching this, baby, I really hope you're not, because you should be doing birthday shit. But if you are, happy birthday. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, and hope you had a great birthday and that you got cake. Moving on, this first video is actually going to be basically a discussion of the name Elementary. This has been debunked several times by other people in fandom, but I figured it would be a good place to start for the sake of the vlog thingy. So, the name Elementary for the television show. When it was first announced, you heard a lot of people yelling on Tumblr that Sherlock Holmes never said "Elementary, my dear Watson" in canon. And you know what? That's absolutely true, and you're totally right, and go you for knowing that. 2 years ago, I was running into people who had no idea that that wasn't canonical. So the fact that people seem to be more aware of the fact that the whole phrase, "Elementary, my dear Watson," was not said in canon is really great, and I'm so proud of you for knowing that. However, we have to stop there. Stop, because just because the phrase "Elementary, my dear Watson" was not said as a whole in canon does not mean that the phrase "elementary" is not canon. In fact, I have some quotes here. I left my notes at work because I wasn't expecting to do this, and I'm still working on, putting together all my notes, so this is going to be a little jagged. But there are several instances in canon where Sherlock Holmes says the word "elementary," and we're going to pull up a few here on my computer that I just was able to find really quick. Hopefully this isn't going to destroy the thingy. The first one that I'm going to say is, we're actually going to start towards the end of the canon, with The Adventure of the Blanched Soldier, which is narrated by Sherlock Holmes. Not one of my favorite stories overall, unless you like hearing half mystery and half "I miss Watson so much," which is basically what the story is. The quote is, "Still, elementary as it was, there were points of interest and novelty about it, which may excuse my placing it upon record. I now proceeded, using my familiar method of logical analysis, to narrow down the possible solutions." So there you have it. There is one instance right away where Holmes himself, in his narration, says the word "elementary." Continuing onward. Let's see. Okay, Wisteria Lodge. "I'm sure, Watson, a week in the country will be invaluable to you," he remarked. "It is very pleasant to see the first green shoots upon the hedges and the catkins on the hazels once again. With a spud, a tin box, and an elementary book on botany, there are instructive days to be spent." He prowled about with this equipment himself, but it was a poor show of plants which he would bring back of an evening. So again, another one where he says it. Let's see. Hound of the Baskervilles has two references to the word elementary. Here we have, oh, here it is. "Interesting, though elementary," said he, as he returned to his favorite corner of the settee. "There are certainly one or two indications upon the stick. It gives us the basis for several deductions." And then another one later on. "The detection of types is one of the most elementary branches of knowledge to the special expert in crime, though I confess that once when I was young I confused the Leeds Mercury with the Western Morning News. But a Times leader is entirely distinctive, and these words could have been taken from nothing else." So there's two from the Hound of Baskervilles. From when we very first meet Sherlock Holmes, I mean towards the beginning of the stories anyway, not in the very beginning, "Study in Scarlet. we have here, before turning those moral and mental aspects of the matter which present the greatest difficulties, let the inquirer begin by mastering more elementary problems. Let him, on meeting a fellow mortal, learn at a glance to distinguish the history of the man and the trade or profession to which he belongs. Now, what's interesting about that quote is that Holmes does not say that. Holmes has written that in an article that he had published. So that is in case of not Holmes just saying it, but writing it, which means it's a very deliberate usage of the word. Case of Identity, one of the earlier written stories. We have all this is amusing, though rather elementary, but I must go back to business, Watson. And then my absolute favorite, I actually have this one in my notes, because I actually have some of these notes. It's from the Crooked Man, The Adventure of the Crooked Man. Excellent, I cried. Elementary, said he. What's great about that is that's probably actually where the concept of elementary, my dear Watson, came in, because it's a direct response to something that Watson says, and frequently throughout canon, Holmes does say, excellent, my dear Watson, or exactly, my dear Watson. In fact, frankly, if you go through canon with a fine-tooth comb, I'm pretty sure the phrase, my dear Watson, is the thing that Holmes says the most. I didn't even realize it until I was cataloging the stories and going, Jesus Christ, man, get some new language here. This is sad. But yeah, so that's another case of where the phrase elementary, my dear Watson, may have developed over time. So those are just a few instances of when the word elementary was used in canon. There's probably a few more. Honestly, like I said, I don't have my notes on me, and I'm sorry, I wasn't intending to do this today. But I feel like that should be pointed out, that the word elementary is not non-canonical. And so titling the show Elementary is totally fine. And the fact that Holmes says it in the first episode, the pilot, I think, is also fine, because Sherlock Holmes said it. And if, frankly, we were going to eliminate things that Holmes did not canonically say from a character's dialogue, we'd be fucking screwed, guys, because in any modern adaptation, everything wouldn't work, because we have all this shit now that didn't exist in the Victorian era. So, to put this one to rest, Elementary, totally canonical. Thanks for watching.